was only for the night. Waking up in different places, but I stopped running from my life, and all the pieces found their places. My heart is home with you.
While Race Tech was a godsend in actually like making our bike suspension work properly, it takes some getting used to, because now it actually is feels a lot looser to me, and so it's not the same. I don't have the same feeling riding off-road as I did before, which is also probably why I went down twice on my way here.
The day has really just turned on us, like betrayed us completely, with rain and just pissing and overcast and cold and rain and pissing. But we found ourselves at a petting zoo?
We could be here.
Reason number 237 why it's better to travel with a dog. Because the poop bags can be used to protect your sensitive instrument. What the hell am I talking about? So Jess's switch here, the mode switch, has not been replaced. It has been cleaned out, it has been dried, it has been repaired, and it's working. But of course, the rain concerns us. I'd like to suggest is if you could send me
Greg is busy talking to a prospect out here while it is pouring rain and it's cold, and at least we've got a roof, but not the most luxurious and glamorous camping site we've ever had. As I was making our dinner tonight, we didn't have any fuel left.
And now I have the joy of a late night siphon. This Near Zero tent has a very special feature, the hat holder that's built in.
My thermarest took another beating today as Whimsy was getting ready to leap out of the tent. She popped my thermarest, so now I've got a hole that I'm gonna have to patch tonight. This is now the second one.
Motorcycle trips are notorious for a very limited wardrobe. We have splurged in the fact that we have 2 pieces of neck apparel, right? We have our normal buff, which is like lightweight and easy, and we've recently gotten these
alpacas. We're here at Lake Quilotoa. Lake Quilotoa.
This lake is highly regarded for being gorgeous, so you actually need to pay to get into the town.
We're at Lake Quilotoa. I think I'm saying that wrong still. She started at $5. $5 for a Nescafe for water. But Greg got her down to $2.50. Whimsy. Whims.
Whimsy, look up. Look up.
Greg, that doesn't work.
Snout resting. Wimple.
We got this Ecuadorian snack. It's cueritos, which is like it's like pig skin that's been turned into a bit of a chip. Doesn't really like jazz me, but I think maybe Whimsy will enjoy it. And we've got some friends. So the bikes are in their final resting place for tonight and tomorrow. We were able to bring them into the cabin here, and so now they're sitting side by side. It was a whole to-do to move the table and the chairs and everything to get them in because there's the beam in the way. Greg was really good about leading his bike so that he could get it through in the right way. So we've got everything here. They're safe here. Our cabin is up a nice steep walk up to the top, and that's where we will be tonight. And tomorrow morning we're going to start going for our ice picking.
Ice picking. Okay, that's not actually what they call it. They call it ice harvesting, but this is like from old days before refrigeration, when they'd hike their asses up the mountain, or in this case, volcano, and they'd collect ice and they bring it down, and then like rich people would put it in their drinks and shit, right?
La altura aquí estamos a 2,800 por ahí. Ajá.
Okay, eso sí.
Gregor's out of breath.
Pues subir y platicar ya son dos cosas que no se hacen juntos. It's been absolutely pouring since we got here, all through the night, all through the morning, and it turns out that we couldn't even make the slog up to our ice picking location. It's apparently just absolutely mucked over, and so our guy reached out to the ice picker, and the report back was like, there's no way.
I'm gonna take Whimsy's canine moto harness, but I'm actually gonna take apart the back piece because she doesn't need it for this, because then we're gonna be able to like help lift her up if there were any like tough spots to get up or to help her down. The handle is really, really good for that.
Es una tradición que se fue perdiendo poco a poco desde que vinieron apareciendo las refrigeradoras.
Sí.
Entonces, una vez que aparecieron las refrigeradoras, Baltasar ya fue el único hielero que quedó. Entonces, el hielo que él baja comúnmente es utilizado para la fabricación de bebidas. Hay un jugo muy tradicional en la parte de Riobamba que se llama rompenucas. Es un jugo de fruta con hielo del Chimborazo, que al tomarse de una sola vez duele la nuca. Por eso se llama rompenucas. Ajá. Ahora, lastimosamente, por la edad casi ya no sale, porque ya tiene una edad muy avanzada. Pero lo bueno de esto es que su hijo está continuando el legado, Juan Mushka. Él es el que está continuando el legado de esta tradición.
Something extraordinary has happened on the way up this first segment, and that is that Jessica has come all the way to Ecuador to find somebody who also loves the show Heartland, which is a Canadian show that takes place in like the mountains or foothills of Calgary, and they have like a dude ranch, and they're like horse people and all the family dramas and things. And it turns out that Alexis, our guide, loves that show, and among his many sort of endeavors is his own dude ranch, except that his would include llamas and alpacas as well. I am peeing someplace so incredibly beautiful that while I'm peeing and enjoying the view, I have the desire to film it. And so I'll see if I can kind of do both things at once. It's not recommended, don't do that at home, but nor would you want to do it at home. You're only going to want to do it someplace like this. Behind the whiteness of Whimsy, do you see something that is also white?
Snow.
The first snow?
First snow. We're at maybe 4,400 and something meters, maybe. It's getting a little bit harder to breathe, but I am making it slowly. And Whimsy is doing like 10 laps. She's running up and down. She's getting wet. She's loving it, and she's just got this big panting smile on her face, like this is the best thing in the world. And that's why we bring her along. And our donkey and Juanito are doing like as if they've done it a million times, which they have.
Modern Homo canonicus, which is man of the dog, can find a dog fetch toy anywhere they are. And so we have a Whimsy toy. Whimsy! people of this region have their own type of traditional medicine, and in fact, their own type of MRI. They'll take the cuye, which is like the, it's not a groundhog, but it's, you know, it's of that family, right? And the witch doctor, the medicine man, will sort of move it up and down the body all around, right? And they believe that then it like pulls whatever the ailment is out of the body and into the cuye. Then they sacrifice the cuye, they open it up, and they discover sort of, oh, the kidney was black, or it had an eye problem, or whatever infection's inside. So then the individual will go to the doctor, much like MedMD, already knowing what their ailment is and telling the doctor, no, I have this problem with the kidneys or with the liver or whatever. How do you know this? Because the cuye told me.
So Panchito is waiting down here because of all of the rain and the snow and everything that's going on. It's like a hard pass for him. So we're leaving him here and he's eating all of our rope. Whimsy, let us arrive together.
Now, it is also very common that they will essentially live with their cuye. They'll have like a kennel or a corral under the bed because the animals are creating heat in these cold, difficult situations. It's also the case that they make a ton of noise, these cuyes, and they're scruffling around and people can't get a good night's sleep.
The path has sort of disappeared under the snow, so they're sort of struggling to like find a good way to get us up because what happens is you've got these big boulders and there's all this just snow covering and you can't see what you can step on and what you can't. So it can be a bit dangerous. So he's charting the path for us to find a way up.
This right here is why we came. And it was totally worth it. What better thing to do for a day than climb up the side of the mountain and pick some ice?
It's feeding time for Whimsy. She's been trying to look for food throughout the whole path, but there's nothing for her. There was a little bit of donkey poop, but that was it. And so now we're having our lunch as we're getting our ice mined.
Years back in the old days, they would harvest the ice from much further down the volcano.
Ahí era la mina. Ya lo que ya va resbalando la piedra, ya sigue subiendo, ya resbalando la piedra y la tierra sigue resbalando y sigue tapando a la mina.
But over time of picking the ice and kind of loosening the mine, as well as the warming temperatures, it would become necessary to come up higher and higher each time.
This is an Andean mojito with our Chimborazo ice that has just been freshly picked off of the glacier.
There is shaken, stirred, and pickaxed.
Este se llama papacara, este hielo. Es bien suavecito, todo en la ropa sabe pegarse como una goma. Sí, eso es. Ya voy a seguir sacando hielo, un buen pedacito. Ya aquí para ir cargando, donde está el burrito, para ir cargando. Ya para ir a la casa.
Juanito is gonna make us an ice sculpture. Maybe a swan, maybe a llama or an alpaca.
An alpaca.
Yeah, maybe an Andean fox. It turns out that Juanito is an impressionist, so we have no idea what the hell that is.
Whimsy is just dying to get back over there because she wants to make a bed out of that nice soft grass that they're using.
if at any point I complain on the Y-Wash hike, I want you to remind me of Juanito carrying down 2 enormous blocks of ice, each probably weighing 50 pounds, and I will shut my face immediately. Juanito, ¿no cree usted que debería tener una barba como yo para protegerse del frío?
No, no me gusta. No me gusta, a mí me gusta. Así este pelo.
Ajá, cortito.
Me gusta así.
What an incredible thing to do. Absolutely phenomenal.
It was fantastic, and it was a great proving ground for what we're going to be doing in Peru, which is our 10-day hike in Y-Wash. So we learned a few things. We got some ideas about things that we might want to change about how we've done other hikes in the past, and I think it's going to make Y-Wash a lot more pleasurable in the sense that it's hard to hike with a lot of stuff.
An additional Quilotoa fact: they don't drink water. All of the hydration that they need comes from the food, and the only food that they really eat is like grasses. Wow, that was pleasant.
Sorry.
So interesting that.
Now we actually have an hour drive to Baños to the next Airbnb, and we're not sure about the landslide and about the road getting into the Airbnb.
What is the strangest or most unusual thing that you have on your bike for a moto trip? For Jessica, it is a pizza pan, because if the Airbnb has an oven in it, you can be sure that she will be making us a pizza. So yes, this is essential equipment. Meanwhile, from grocery shopping today, Jessica got me Ecuadorian whiskey shaped like a guitar. You're a mess, okay? You've even got some llama poop on your face.
Okay, esto es de
Queso de albahaca.
albahaca.
Sí.
So basil.
Esto es de ají.
¿De qué?
Ají.
Oh, garlic. Ajá.
Esto es de orégano. Este es queso montañés, un queso maduro.
Okay.
Sí.
I think that one's going to be our favorite.
Empezaron con la llegada del padre Antonio, entonces ahí estas salinas eran muy pobres. Luego que empezaron los quesos y vinieron italianos a enseñar el queso.
Oh, it's like a guaro or
Un aguardiente
Ajá.
hecho
sí,
de caña.
Eso sí, exactamente.
Although I tried to tuck it between the Tillamook's and the Cactus Canteen for some insulation, as well as my body protecting the cold wind, the corn cob has cooled down a bit in the time it took us to find a rest spot. And so, we will use our 900 cc's to warm our cobbers. Leave it. We've been following this little river that just meanders. It's gorgeous. And there's a turnoff here, and there's little huts and shacks and shanties.
There are houses further up where there are some people who they have animals. And there are some pigs tied up here, and I don't know if there's anybody up there, but...
There's like a hog larger than life down just sunning himself. And that's going to entice Whimsy.
Greg is going up to check if there's somebody at that little shack there to ask about if we can stay on this piece of land and camp. Normally people are really nice and they just let you stay on their land, especially if it's just one night. I don't think we've only been turned away like maybe a couple times of doing it like this.
There you go. Like you just kind of ask a question, get some info, you shake a hand, put on your most friendly persona. People like to talk about the connections you make when you're traveling. And it's hard because there's language barriers, there are experience barriers, there are time and place and context barriers.
Gracias.
And on top of everything, economic barriers. And so you do the best that you can to sort of find a common thread and just find a moment, find a thing. And for that moment and for that thing, the dog is almost always like a bridge. It's just a way to sort of connect for a moment, break an ice, and put a smile on people's faces. And I guess that's why we keep her around. Well, it seems that those leaves that went into my tea, but not hers, are for purification of the body.
As we were leaving our ice picking tour, we got a couple of gifts. One of them was an ayahuasca stick, which is basically like it's a vine that's dried. If you were just to have that alone in a tea, your stomach enzymes would kill it. But something in this leaf is able to block those enzymes from breaking it down, and that's where you get that like psychotropic effect. So I think the leaf alone doesn't have anything.
They're supposed to make you basically poo it all out. And she somehow remembered that this morning after I got up twice in the middle of the night for like 30-minute stretches to purify.
There's a little route that we're going to take that's parallel to the paved road that goes more through the fincas here in the fields. It's going to be a long day of riding, I think, and then tomorrow we've got other activities to do.
This is about as daring as we've been as far as ask forgiveness, not permission. And it also has the virtue of access to the river. Failure. So we went down, we took a bath, and when we came back up, there was a white truck at the gate waiting for us. They were on the phone with the police because they'd come in and seen the two strange motorcycles. I, of course, defused the situation, but we are not invited to stay here for the night. We rode through the night and reached Hippihapa, which is about the greatest name for a town. And the feature of this town, among I guess other things, is this hat. So Hippihapa is not the center of hat production, but this is by way of introducing our destination today.
We made it to Monte Cristi. This is where they do the Panama hats in Ecuador.
They take all the green fibers and they cook with the water of the river. They get this.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hello. Feel that.
Okay, for example, aquí we have two
Yeah.
fibers.
Yeah.
This is better. This is very special than this one.
Okay.
See, for example, with this fiber, we need 24 pieces of this to make one hat.
Okay.
Okay, now this is more fine. This is to make the best hat.
Yeah.
We need 48 two packets
Wow.
to make only one hat.
Okay.
This is very special. More stitches, the hat is more fine.
So it's more expensive.
Well, in this case, this hat is medium quality.
Okay.
This is 13 or 14 points and 1 inch.
The Panama Hat, which comes from Ecuador, was a gift to the president of Panama, who re-gifted it. He took the gift that he received from Ecuador and he gifted it to the American president.
Yes.
And not only in re-gifting, but Ecuador got screwed out of the name of their hat.
Wow. Look at the skill.
It's already sealed.
So now we are gonna design this hat with the plastic style. These molds are from aluminum, and we are gonna put in this machine that you're gonna see.
Y ya quemarse es parte
No.
del truco.
Sí.
Usted ya no se quema nunca.
Why I check the hat? Because if the hat has wrinkles. Now we don't have wrinkles. I am going to pressure. I am going to put more pressure.
So, do you all not like Panama?
So I've now gotten my Panama hat from Monte Cristi, Ecuador, to use for my Peru Y-wash hike. We made it to our Airbnb, which is like a cabana here on the beach. We sort of thought that it was going to be sunny. No, it's not. It's cloudy. It was raining on us on the way in. I'm hoping that in the next couple days, like, it'll actually be nice, but if it's like this, then we will just be inside the cabin.
Did your drink freeze in the process of vomiting? Of regurgitating its meal?
It's a mixture of a bunch of different...
Oh, it just...
well, it's a mixture of a bunch of different juices, plus like 2 shots of rum. This morning has us going to Cuenca because that switch box for my mode button is actually there now. It has arrived. It has come from, I guess, the UK. It came from expedited, and it's at the dealership in Cuenca. So we're gonna go there, and we've got a 6-hour, 9-minute drive. It says right now it's like 6:20. We're trying to get there before 3 o'clock so that we can let them have some time today to start working on it, because tomorrow they're only open until noon. We just reached the Triumph in Cuenca. It took us 6 hours to get here. We did it in a good stretch. We did the first 3.5 hours, then we took a break, and then we did the last 2.5. Made it in really good time. It was a really nice drive through the mountains coming down. And now they're going to put the part in. They said it's only going to take about 2 hours. They're going to fix to substitute out the mode and the home switch boxes. With
Está
the
ensellada,
light,
sí.
yeah.
Entonces ahora vamos a meter al taller y vamos a cambiar.
Perfect.
¿Sí?
So while the switches for Jess's bike are being switched, we have come to feed. Of course we did. Basically feed and caffeinate. Emphasis on the caffeination and also on the feeding.
I've got brand new switches on both sides. The mode works, the home works. It's all great.
Jessica, I'm seeing a Union Jack.
Yes, I got some Triumph swag. Yeah, I think it adds a little bit of color to my garb.
Y el peso, ¿no jala mucho?
No mucho, porque ella es muy acostumbrada de este. Solo cuando muy lento en la moto y ella ve un gato o algo y ella se pone así en un lado, sí. Pero cuando en velocidad, es como una, como una bolsa. Sí. Somehow we planned poorly, and we actually have an extra day now of like nowhere to go. So we left early this morning because Greg made a big hoopla about getting here before 3 o'clock, and we made it here at 2 o'clock.
False.
So 6 hours of riding.
Jessica's been pushing us like a tyrant.
No.
Like we had to get up.
Do I look like a tyrant? No, I look like I'm wearing a nice warm
You look a bit
shmata.
like Moto Hobo, but.
Today is the Ecuadorian Death Road. It's got really windy sections. From what we've been told, it is paved.
Why not go check out a death road?
So this death road is death road because it's windy. Really windy, hairpin turns, that type of thing, and the traffic that comes at you.
The human element is always the most dangerous. This particular death road seems to be divided into 3 deathy sections. We have completed the first deathy section, which was nothing particularly deathy. We call this endurance rest stopping. Nothing about this that's comfortable other than the fact that you're in some sort of a laying position, but it's mostly just endurance and kind of miserable. Jessica was giving me loads of shit because I needed to take off some layers of clothing because it was getting hot. And I said, we need to pull over. While I'm stripping off my long sleeve shirt, I spy her up ahead, take off her helmet and pull off her neck gaiter. And then put her helmet on really sneakily.
Wasn't sneakily.
She is giving me shit about pulling us over to declothe.
No, I gave you shit about pulling over for the 3rd time to pee in like the span of an hour. I don't know what kind of bladder.
That part is true. I hydrated hardcore. I'm sitting here and every so often I'm feeling a drop on me. Finally, I look straight up and I see Jessica's wet bathing suit.
Is it really?
Who was responsible for the exterior decoration at our campsite here? Jess asked me last night, is it likely that the water level would rise?
I think I need to listen to my own advice when it comes to camping near water and the possibility that the water is going to rise and potentially wash us away.
Either we've been sliding in or the river has been coming to get us.
Today has us going towards no, it's not called La Loja, it's called Loja.
When you see places that just have the most wonderful names, you gotta go check it out. So we did that with Jipijapa on the coast, and now Yanzasa is up today.
Whimsy has been denied entry. I've been told to tie her up against the fire hydrant, so she's a true dog right now. They're doing a raffle here for the cow. The cow is worth $500. The raffle is $1 per entry, and they're doing it to raise money for a sick person. Yeah, we're from the other side. There you go. We're now at our Airbnb in Vilcabamba, and it's beautiful. It's at the end of a street. We've got this whole little cabin area for us. Whimsy's got a puppy and a little pit bully mix to play with.
Every now and again, you stay at a place that is just exceptional. And that's the case here in Vilcabamba, where we're staying in a little cabin, a little casita there. And it's on, what, several hectares of fruit orchards, all different kinds. There's 4 different kinds of mandarin here. There's cacao, there's
bananas,
there's like this,
limes.
yeah, leaves that you put in tea. I mean, it's just like a bit of everything.
Greg, you're cutting off my head.
Ooh.
It is like 2 hours worth of paved and 2 hours worth of unpaved road into Peru, and then we can continue on. We're at the border in La Balsa. We just asked the guy from the aduana, is it always this busy? Because there's a whole bunch of bikes. He's like, no, there's never any bikes. So we just happened to come on a Saturday where there's a bunch of tours coming through. And the first thing that happened was that Whimsy got attacked by a Doberman in a cone.
Stamping out of a country is always easy business.
There's no big hoopla, which is really nice, until Calidad comes out from Ecuador and asks to see the exportation proof.
Whimsy has decided to take a monster shit right next to the Calidad department that's going to let her in.
Our rider friends here, they got liberated, so they've gotten their temporary import permit refunded. Now they're on their way to Peru. So there's 5 of them who are going across into Peru who now need to get their import permits from that side. So we are 5 people behind in the line.
In addition to patience and a good attitude, a very important thing to always bring with you to a border are stories, because you're probably going to be sitting around, and so that's a good time to just swap some stories. Now, last night we met a guy who's from Canada. He came to Ecuador. He went to the mountains on a tour, and in the mountains he met like a medicine woman, and she did the Kuye MRI. The way he described it, they take the Kuye and she started smacking him with it, to the point where by the end, as it smack, by the end the Kuye was dead. So she's like beat the shit out of the Kuye, literally, because he said he was covered in piss from the Kuye. I mean, this story gets worse and worse. And then at the end, she immediately takes the Kuye over and she like uses her thumbs to like tear the guts open, and she looks it over. She gets down to the feet and she sees that there are like some blood vessel issues with the feet, and says, okay, I can fix this.
12 to 1 to 2 to 3.5 hours.
There is something about parking in the hotel lobby that just never gets old. Not 5 minutes out of town, and we have our first break. Somebody planned poorly.
The barbarians are at the gate. What should we call these ones? A piddle of peacocks that I have here. It's called an ostentation or a muster. There's some people, it's a pride. You can have a pride of peacocks.
Hay muchos papitos reales que tienen miedo a los perritos, pero en esta ocasión nos ha sorprendido a mí y a todo el equipo de trabajo que se han acercado sin miedo a este perrito, y nosotros pensamos que es la buena energía, pues, ¿no?, de Whimsy, que tiene con todos, hasta con los animales. En una ocasión yo me fracturé un poco la rodilla, me fui, el señor me curó, pero al lado había una señora con su bebé que estaba su bebita enferma y no sabía de qué estaba pasando con su bebé. El doctor manda que traigan un cuy del mercado y especialmente que sea de color negro. Y cuando ya lo traen, empieza el doctor a pasarle a la niña por todo su cuerpito, al cuy. Y después lo parte al cuy y al partirlo dice, ya sé dónde está el problema. Había una manchita en su estómago.
So I got these purple pole beans, 2 avocados, we got onion, we got tomato. So what you do is you open them up, you peel them, and then you boil the beans for like 10 minutes.
So while Jess went into the municipal market, this guy right here has been keeping us company. And he doesn't use any words, but he just kind of has been around and hanging. He kind of makes gestures towards Whimsy. She came over and gave him some love and attention. So Jessica does this just to take the piss, just to fuck with me.
They have a good flavor.
They have no difference of a flavor at all with normal eggs. What a fucking task it is to crack a million of these things just to make like 1/4 of a half of an omelet.
Well, we have 4 eggs, and then I thought, well, we need some more. So I got the little guys, a dozen. Everything is like on the hillside. We're like on the mountain, so it's just like a road cut out. And then I saw that there was a church here, and it looked abandoned. And we seem to do a really good job of finding these types of places and finding a way to get permission to stay in them. So Greg went and checked it out, and there was a guy up ahead chopping wood with his pig beside him. And I said, Greg, go ask that guy first and just see if like it's okay.
I spoke to Manuela, who lives in the house down there, and according to our guy Cristobal, takes care of the neighborhoods. Maybe let's call it an informal neighborhood watch. And I said, do you think we could, because it's like half done? And he said, yeah, it's okay. You're gonna go tomorrow? Yeah. When Jess pulled in and let Whimsy down and kind of looked around, and so she said, the roof isn't gonna collapse on us. And I said, the only way it's gonna collapse on us is if God decides he doesn't want us in here. Slept like the innocent, and now it's time to carry on. This is an avocado salad, which one expected to have some salad elements to it.
So the waiter just came over and I asked him, where's the salad part? Where are the leaves of the salad? And he was like, but you ordered a salad of avocado. So we're taking it to go, and I'm gonna make guacamole out of it.
We've made it into our Airbnb. It's a curious setting. Who doesn't like a angled stair? This is the terrace of our Airbnb, and this is gonna be a lovely place to just sit out and enjoy the silence.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So she's the leader of our pack in every way, including her cojones. All of 20 seconds later, and it's solved. Self-esteem issues. So
My head is like small in the photo.
Okay.
No, you
With the little peanut head.
How he manages to keep his so nice, but that's normally the way that it goes. Greg is.
I put you between me and the source of danger.
I'm not even showing the lake.
Yeah, you look like a dead dog that I'm like strangling. Even fogged in like this is still gorgeous and stunning. And yet, you know what is the real highlight that's going on right now? Whimsy's latest reel has hit 7 million. Is that, yeah? Wow, you look so epic here.
Really?
So it's definitely Rockstar. Jessica is the picker of my boozes. Those are her words. Oh, look, she's bleeding out.
There was a lot of blood there.
It was
gussing. It was gussing. And my ass is wet. Look.
We thought we said goodbye to everybody, but now we're kind of all hunkering together.
But I'm going to give Greg one of these leaves to try his tea today. We'll see what the results are. When you do ayahuasca in those ceremonies, you do a lot of vomiting and pooping. Pretty good.
Now we're going to do the death road, and then we're going to go to our Airbnb. Doesn't even faze you to say things like that. Trampoline of death, the death road. It's hard love, and we are loving it hardly.
We saw all of these signs, and then the church appeared, and this was it. All they did was peel it and cut it and put it into some weird flower-looking shape thing, and there's like 5 avocados in this.